Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Good day and welcome to the show on this Friday, the 6th of August, 2021. You know what? We're headed toward a massive crisis that involves the money. I know we're just coming out of a crisis that involved the virus, but we're heading into a crisis that involves the money. Your money, which isn't money, it's currency. And it only has value because the government says it has value. But this could run for a long time, if they took care of that money and they didn't overprint it and stuff, but they're going crazy. They don't care now at this point. They're getting so they don't really even care about tax revenues or anything. They just care about keeping the system going while they move toward this new, what's called a reset. So the currency is going to hyperinflate. It's as simple as that. We're going to go through deflationary and inflationary cycles that are caused by the central banks now. We don't have a normal, what would I call it, the normal cycle between credit cycle. The normal credit cycle. You have a long-term cycle and you have a short-term cycle, normally, under normal circumstances. The central banks now have taken control over that. We don't have a credit cycle anymore. What we have is a cycle that's caused by the central banks. When they surge a whole bunch of money into the economy and the economy picks up and starts to run for a little while, and then they haul the money back, this is the cycle we have now. And so it's a deflation-inflation cycle. But it always leads to higher inflation. We get a little deflationary impulse, and then the next thing you know, they pump more money in, and they pump it up bigger than ever. And this is going to ultimately lead in the end to a hyperinflation, which is going to destroy the purchasing power of these fiat currencies. And so we have some certain notable things standing out there. One is cryptocurrencies, with Bitcoin at the lead. Very notable. And gold and silver are notable. They're out of this. They're the only ways out of this fiat monetary system that's going down and going to go down hard. Now, the central banks have a plan. And it involves cryptocurrencies. And I found something that's connected. Now, you got to understand, if you look through all of the cryptocurrencies right now, you list them all and you go through them, and try to find the cryptocurrencies that are capable of worldwide transaction volume, which is what the central banks would need for a central bank digital currency. Because now what I'm moving is to the next step. We have our hyperinflation, and we have to do some sort of a reset. The world has to do some sort of a reset because money has now become valueless. Well, the central banks, their big plan is central bank digital currencies. And you've all heard of this before. They're moving toward it at lightning speed because they realize that the fiat currencies are going to go down and go down hard. And they want a replacement for these fiat currencies. So I've done some research on there and I found something. I searched through the coins and find out which ones were capable of a worldwide transaction volume. And there's not that many. You can count the coins out there in the cryptocurrency space, the technology that's capable of worldwide transaction volume. You can probably count them on one hand. Ones like Cardano possibly or stuff. Capable of establishing a worldwide network that central banks could run on. But there's one that stood out to me, and that's HBAR, hashgraph technology. It's fully capable of implementing a worldwide network. But there's something else I noticed. All of these cryptographic currencies that are capable of worldwide transaction volume, they're all open software. HashBar is the only one that's not. It's patented. It's not an open network. It's a closed network. You have to go along with with the hashgraph patented technology. And I found something on the internet. And it is called, let me go there and just take a look. I'm looking at their site right now. It's called Project New Dawn. They got an info site up at projectnewdawn.info. And it says, introducing a modern cash infrastructure. Over 60 million people in the United States either don't have or find it too expensive to use a bank account. I'm reading right from their website, by the way. It says over 1 trillion of economic stimulus might not reach them because of that. A digital cash infrastructure for all, it says. It says, read our paper. Digital cash infrastructure built with central bank digital currency can directly fill the inclusion gap left by the current banking system. Our hypothesis. And I'm right at their Project New Dawn website, and it has a list of advisors here, and it has their mission. The mission is to lead conversation and engagement that ultimately delivers a technical reference model with regulatory and legislative recommendations to reach the underbanked with digital cash. In collaboration with EMTech, Microsoft, and Hedera Hashgraph. Well, that's basically what their website is here. But it's called Project New Dawn, and evidently it's Hedera Hashgraph. Now, will this come to fruition? Will this actually happen? Will Hedera Hashgraph be what the central banks run a digital currency on worldwide? And what place would Hashgraph have in that ecosystem if that actually happens? How, basically, you guys all wondering to yourself, well, how high could Hashgraph go in price if it becomes the coin for central bank digital currency? And you're barking up the wrong tree with that, because I don't think that's what would happen. I don't think the Hashgraph coin, Hedera Hashgraph, would become the central bank digital currency. I don't think that's the way it works. The way I think it works is the Hedera Hashgraph, if this happens, I mean, I'm just talking theoretically, what the Hedera Hashgraph would become is the coin that's used to pay for the transactions across the network, but not the coin itself. But now, when you consider how many transactions, if they establish a worldwide network of central bank digital currency, and who knows what they would call it, digital dollar maybe, I don't know, Fed coin, I don't know. But it would not be the Hedera Hashgraph, but the Hedera Hashgraph would be the coin that they use to pay for the transaction to go across the internet. But now you'd be talking billions of transactions. Maybe a million transactions a second or something, happening. And that adds up. And that would be reflected in the value of a Hedera Hashgraph ultimately in the end. And so right now, Hedera Hashgraph, I think they're around 21.5 cents a piece. How high could they go? I don't know. If this were to be real, and if this actually happens, maybe they could go to $5, $10, $15, $20. I don't know. But I do know that perhaps all these people out there who have been banking on XRP becoming this big, maybe they're barking up the wrong tree. Maybe it's Hedera that they should be looking at. I'm just not sure about that. Now, you guys are going to have to do your own diligent research on this, because nothing's happened. These plans, I don't really see it happening yet. But I see if you go and you study up on this Project New Dawn, perhaps there's something coming in the future for Hedera Hashgraph. But that aside, I'm getting sidetracked a little bit. Let's talk about Bitcoin itself, Where I see Bitcoin going is, ever since Bitcoin began, it's been in a bull market. One big, enormous bull market from when it started till now. And, you know, you could have had them at 5 cents. You could have had them at $10. You could have had them at $200. You could have had them at $1,000, all on the way up. Now they're $40,000. And people are saying, well, they're too high for me. I'm not going to buy any Bitcoin or whatever. Yeah, but do you really, if this bull market's been going ever since the beginning, do you think it's going to stop? And what's going to stop it? Will it stop? So perhaps there'll be a time in the future when I'll be saying you could have had them at $40,000 when they're $500,000. And at a certain point, if it grows too big, it's going to become uh, the place where all the world's money could be stored. It could hold one Bitcoin, just one Bitcoin, if you extend the decimal point out. And I know right now they only extend the decimal point, what is it, 8 zeros. So there's 8 zeros right now. But they can extend it out further. They can extend it out, I think, like 17 zeros, one Bitcoin. And so that means that there'll be many more Satashis, unlimited Satashis, just in one Bitcoin. And one Bitcoin could absorb all of the world's money, all the world's value. Just one Bitcoin. Besides the fact there's 21 million of them. You know, so they don't have to put all the world's value into one Bitcoin. They can put it into the 21 million of them, you know. It's almost like when somebody goes to say somebody went up to your swimming pool and they dropped in a packet of dye, hair color or whatever, and it changed the color in the whole swimming pool from, say, normal color of the water, you know, to red. The water's all red. That's what Bitcoin is like. When Bitcoin got dumped into the monetary system. It's like kryptonite. It's like dye. It's like what the dye would do to the swimming pool. That's what the Bitcoin is doing to the monetary system. And it might be still in its infancy of what it's planning on doing. But it's gobbling up everything like a black hole. And it surges. What it does is it stays down for a while. It ducks its head down for a while. And it grows underneath the surface. Its infrastructure grows. And then it pops up. And then it goes to a new high again. And then it falls off again. It's done this over and over again, all the way back. But you have to look at the bigger picture. The bigger picture is it's been in a bull market ever since its beginning till now. Even though it's had these highs, and it drops off. And when it drops off, everybody thinks it's over. Every time, they always think the same thing. Oh, this is over. Well, we just saw one of these drops off. It went up to $64,000. Then it dropped down below 30. Now it's recovering. You know, I'm going to tell you guys what. I have never ever seen anything like cryptocurrencies before. It's amazing stuff. And ultimately, what you have is all the world's currencies are all set up the same way. They are all inflation. They are all inflating their value away. Whereas cryptocurrencies is the exact opposite. It's deflating into more and more value all the time. And this is why I say it's like the black hole for money. When somebody buys a Bitcoin, for instance, you know, they go in and they'll take their money. They're going to buy one Bitcoin. So they go into the bank, they take out $42,000 and they go to buy one Bitcoin. And they pay the $42,000 for the Bitcoin, right? Now the miners or whatever, they get that $42,000. What are they going to do with it? They're going to run out probably, maybe they need a new set of tires on their car. You know, or whatever. They're going to spend it, the money, because it's spendable. But what's the guy going to do with the Bitcoin he just bought? He's going to put it right into his savings. He ain't going to spend it. He didn't buy that to spend that. Now, the money he took out of the bank was sitting in the bank. It had a velocity of 0. That was the money's velocity because it's sitting in the bank. Now he's hauled that money out of the bank. He's bought his Bitcoin. That money's went into the system, and now it's got a velocity that's higher than zero. It's moving through the system, paying for things. So Bitcoin also speeds up the velocity of money, thereby making the fiat currencies have even more inflation. It inflates the fiat currencies, and that's the action it has, while at the same time, it deflates itself. It becomes worth more, and people spend it even less. It's very similar, it mimics gold in that function of being a store of value. Very, very strange stuff indeed. Thank you guys for listening to my show. Give you guys something to think about, you know. And don't get crazy about the Hedera hashgraph, because I mean, you just don't know exactly which way at this point the government's going to turn. Maybe they'll decide, well, we don't want Hedera hashgraph. Some new coin will come along that's even better, and they'll use it for their central bank digital currency. But maybe not. Maybe they will use Hedera. We'll have to wait and see. Time will tell on this. So we catch you guys in the very next show. Bye-bye.